This is The Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort Hall School of Government and Professor Mutahi Ngunyi. This Sunday, we analyze Uhuru's process of constituting cabinet. At face value, this process looks obvious, but underneath it is a web of high politics. For starters, we are not persuaded by the appointment of Tobiko Keriako to cabinet. He does not deserve it at all. In our view, this appointment was a trade-off. Let me explain. Uhuru must control the positions of DPP and CID to deal with corruption. In the case of CID, Uhuru had the powers to fire Muhoro. But because he could not fire Tobiko and could not force him to resign, he had to trick him. He offered him a cabinet position. Then Tobiko naively resigned as DPP. Once Tobiko's resignation was in Uhuru's pocket, Tobiko's usefulness ended. To reverse Tobiko's cabinet offer, Uhuru will use Parliament. We should not be surprised if Tobiko's appointment is rejected by Parliament. Then Uhuru will blame Parliament for messing up with poor Tobiko. And this is what we call high politics.
On the appointment of Tobiko, we could be wrong. However, if the president cannot trust Tobiko to be his DPP, can he trust him with a cabinet position? Is he ready to waste a full cabinet position on a man who frustrated government for 4 years? I doubt it. This must be a trap. But if we are wrong on Tobiko, we are definitely right on the absence of William Ruto during the Friday announcement. You see, William Ruto will become president in 2022. That is a fact of history, the coming history. But to become president, two things must happen. One, Uhuru must release him from unnecessary duties like attending press conferences at State House with him. And this process began on Friday when the president appeared alone. Two, by supporting Uhuru faithfully, Ruto fixed the Gema question once and for all. The next Gema president after Uhuru will not be for another 20 years. But for this circulation of leadership to happen, Ruto must drive national reconciliation starting this year. And he cannot unite the country by doing unnecessary duties like standing behind the president in press conferences.
The new Uhuru Kenyatta is random, and he is also ruthless. It is possible that Ruto did not know about the announcement of cabinet, or maybe he was informed about it too late. Either way, Uhuru has changed. He has become random. And in our view, this shift from a predictable to a random leader is a mark of growth. If you cannot guess a leader, you cannot mess a leader. But if Uhuru has changed, the most notable change is his acquired ruthlessness. Sacking 13 ministers is a bloody affair, and we celebrate it. We are persuaded that Kenya is about to take off, and the road ahead does not require a soft hand. It demands an iron fist. The road ahead cannot be left to chance or luck. It cannot be left to the rhythms of the gods. It must be designed and executed using a firm hand. And this is why Uhuru has become random and ruthless. This way, he will deliver the takeoff.
Uhuru told us that he will announce the rest of the government slowly. And before he does it, we want to give him a story. One day, a guy called Abunwasi was selling a house to a Kikuyu. After they had agreed on the price, Abunwasi told the Kikuyu that he would give him a 20% discount to retain a single nail on the sitting room wall. The Kikuyu could not resist the offer. And so, Abunwasi sold the house but retained ownership of the nail. After a few weeks, Abunwasi showed up at the house and said he wanted to use his nail on the wall. He took off his dirty, smelly jacket, hanged it on the nail and left. The next day, Abunwasi came to use his nail in this Kikuyu's house. He hung up the picture of Raila and left. Following week, Abunwasi came and hanged a bag of fish, rotten fish. The house stank to the high heavens. Abunwasi did not return for days. unable to bear the intrusion, the Kikuyu abandoned the house. Mr. President, sir, Raila has a nail in every wall of your government. No wonder government stinks. Sir, you must purge the civil service mercilessly.
At the start of his legacy term, Uhuru must purge the civil service without mercy. And as Niccolo Machiavelli taught us, a newly elected leader must do all the bad things at once and all the good things only slowly. Uhuru's yardstick in doing this should be loyalty, not competence. And he should not be apologetic about demanding loyalty. But appointing the cabinet and PSs in small installments has another clever side to it. Raila wants to build momentum towards a fake swearing-in ceremony on January 30th. But if Uhuru makes appointments during this time, he will slow down the Raila momentum. He will take the thunder away from the fake government Raila has promised. And on this fake government, we must restate the following. If Raila has finally manned up, he should swear himself in using the oath prescribed in the Constitution. Then the random and ruthless Uhuru will arrest him, and this will be good drama. But even if Raila uses a bogus oath, he still should be arrested, and his trial should be in Lodwar or even Mogadishu for effect. If Uhuru has indeed changed, this is what he should do.
As a young lawyer, I have been told that a clever answer is a sign of knowledge, but a good question is a sign of intelligence. And on the Uhuru cabinet, I have a number of questions. I do not know if they are good questions or questions without legs, but I will ask them all the same. If President Uhuru did not reappoint 13 cabinet ministers on Friday, why should he appoint them later? If he had no confidence in them on Friday, why should the confidence grow next week? Zero. In our view, the 13 ministers are cooked. They have been sacked and they should start dealing with the loss. My second question has to do with the changes at State House. Mr. Nzioka Waita was appointed Chief of Staff at the presidency. This was a brilliant move, and Mr. Waita deserves it. But is it an indication that he will succeed Joseph Kenywa? Mine is just a question, but I like. My last question has to do with the former State House Comptroller. He was sent to The Hague as the ambassador. Was he sent there to prepare for the arrival of Raila? I have no idea.
To do the legacy term, Uhuru has to embrace 3 virtues in my view: selfishness, selfishness, and selfishness. Uhuru must only think of Uhuru when constituting government. His ideology must be that simple, in my view. And this Friday, his rendition echoed this ideology. He tricked Tobiko without tricking Tobiko. He sacked ministers without sacking them. And then State House told the ministers that they have not been sacked until they are sacked. This was actually funny. Uhuru Kenyatta has changed, in my view, and the people around him should adjust to this reality. They should adjust their expectations. The imprisoned politician in Uhuru is now free and he is unpredictable. As I have said in the past, Uhuru is the most analyzed politician, yet he is the least studied politician in our recent history. Because we have not studied Uhuru, he will surprise us. His legacy term will be unpredictable, and his new cabinet is a starting point.
And now, our final thought. The legacy term for Uhuru Kenyatta will have to be a clinical term. because he will never again seek re-election. He is a liberated man. He can afford to be bad. He can afford to follow his own purpose without pleasing nobody. This is why we will give him some stops and some starts. He should stop ignoring Raila. Instead, he should start controlling the narrative. Ignoring Raila is responding to him using silence. Controlling the narrative is ensuring that his random undertakings are more newsworthy than Raila's. 2. Uhuru should stop enjoying public love. He should hate love. He should start adoring fear. During the legacy term, he is better off feared than loved. And his new shift to randomness and ruthlessness is a good starting point. 3. Uhuru should stop being nice. He should start using the 7 commandments. Kings are not judged using the 10 commandments. The good Lord exempts them from 3 random commandments at a time. With this knowledge, Uhuru can commit a few political sins, and the good Lord will only use 7 commandments to judge him.